A gorgeous night in Colorado Springs brings us down the final leg of the season. USL Championship action presented by GE Johnson drops us inside Widener Field, where El Paso Locomotive FC come to town to do battle with Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Hello everyone, with Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm David Gascon, and thanks for joining us tonight, where we see two teams getting together tonight that have been a part of a one-sided relationship. But Ricky, they're both in the thick of this thing.
And it's a really interesting matchup. El Paso going on the road, really hostile environment in Colorado Springs. They need this win to stay in the playoff hunt. Colorado Springs Switchbacks, you want to get a home playoff game, so it's a massive opportunity at home. Come out firing, come out on the front foot, and take all 3 points here tonight.
Yeah, you speak about firing, and I give you that for the Switchbacks. All kinds of productivity up front. Haji Berry's the go-to guy. You see where he is right now. He's the leader of the pack.
And you just see how much talent is on display for Brendan Burke. They can hurt you in different types of ways, but what's really interesting about this team is how well they get together. In the locker room, on the field, you can see it. They play behind, they play together, they play behind, they combination play. They're just so good when well-worked front three. They can hurt you in all types of ways.
Yeah, and speaking of Berry, the reigning Golden Boot winner, also the USL Championship MVP from a year ago. He is our Modelo player to watch this evening.
And there's a reason why he is. Talk about goals, talk about assists, but let's throw that out the window. Let's talk about how he affects games. We've seen throughout this year him make 30, 40 yards run to win a ball defensively, to start a counterattack. He's able to drop deep and dictate tempo. He does everything for this Colorado Springs Switchback side, and that's why he is the player to watch tonight.
And you could label things for the other side of El Paso as troubling. They have 10 losses in the season, 8 of them by a goal.
And we're talking to John Hutchinson. He said, look, last time out, we were very good between the boxes, but inside the 18-yard box, we weren't clinical enough. There's too much talent on this team to not score goals. But on this game, they have to be really good defensively. We talked about how high-powering Colorado Springs Switchbacks, to look for them to be disciplined, organized, and keep Colorado Springs off the score sheet.
Well, the only way to do that is have a reliable defensive front, and also Evan Newton in goal. He needs to get things done.
And there's a reason why he's just so well respected in this USL Championship. He's a leader, he's a good shot stopper, and he's very clean with his feet. So look for him to have a lot of communication with that back line, for them not to get caught too high, not to drop too deep. And when he's asked upon, he needs to answer every single question. Evan Newton here tonight.
El Paso in 16 matches versus Colorado Springs is undefeated. We'll see if that trend continues here tonight. Coming up in the style, we'll get to the starting lineups and also first touch. It's Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, El Paso Locomotive FC coming up next.
Fox 21's Loving Living Local is exploring outdoor Colorado in this fully loaded 4xe Jeep Wrangler, and now is your chance to win big. Snap a pic of yourself enjoying Colorado's outdoors, submit that to fox21news.com, plus tune in to Loving Living Local for special segments highlighting things to do and places to see in our beautiful state. At the end of the year, one lucky winner will receive a gift certificate for a prepaid 2-year lease on a brand new Jeep from Perkins Motors. So, show us how you outdoor Colorado.
Calling all Switchbacks fans. Now is your chance to be featured on Loving Living Local. All you have to do is submit your best fan photo on our website for a chance to be featured on Loving Living Local with our host, Nava. And you'll receive a fan swag goodie bag full of awesome Switchbacks gear. For your chance to be our winner, just go to fox21news.com under the Sports tab and click Switchbacks FC to enter.
Is your animal so photogenic you can't stop taking pictures of them? Whether it's exotic, funny, or just plain cute, we want to share it.
You know, they look like a J. Crew catalog. If these were 55-year-old men just hanging out on a leather couch.
Right. Go to fox21news.com/petpics, submit your photo, and watch for your pet during the morning weather forecast. Pet Pics on Fox 21 is sponsored by Furry Friends Incorporated, the pet food store that comes to your door.
And we are live here from Widener Field in Colorado Springs, Colorado. The Switchbacks FC versus El Paso Locomotive FC. Today's player walkout sponsored by Children's Hospital Colorado. I got the starting lineups here tonight. with Ricky Lopez Espin, excuse me. I'm David Gascon. Ricky, we got all kinds of things for Colorado Springs, but really an emphasis tonight is going to be the dude in goal.
And you see Jeff Caldwell needs to come out extremely confident. We look up the field as well. You have that back line, Halsey, McConey, Erdman, Foster, but it's really Echeverria and Lilly dictating tempo, moving the ball from left to right, and then you have that front four, how fluid they are. You'll see Haji Berry come to the left, Enriquez come underneath, Galena push up, and Emo's really that target man that's going to stay at that focal point for Brendan Burke starting 11.
And tonight's starting lineups are presented by Phil Long, the counter for El Paso.
And you have a 4-3-3, but it can also be a 4-1-4-1. You have Soloniak going to be the focal point, Francois and Gomez going to work extremely wide. You're going to see Zacharias come underneath the front three, and then Rose and Calvillo going to be the one that dictating tempo, connecting the back to front. Really motivated and talented starting 11 for John Hutchinson.
Solinak so far this season, 7 goals up front. Francois will also compliment him right behind him, but you figure in a contest like this, we were speaking about it, Ricky, off air, Colorado Springs, they like to run. So for your El Paso, what's the emphasis here tonight?
Well, I think, first of all, you need to keep the ball. You need to be extremely clean in your passing, dictating tempo. Getting the ball out of the feet of Colorado Springs is going to be extremely smart, and how defensively organized you are. You don't want to get caught too high on the counterattack.
It's a comfortable night. Glad you can be here with us. Brand Stevis, as you see him right there, is the lead official tonight. This match is officially underway. Glad you can be with us on a picturesque Friday night in Colorado Springs. El Paso so far this season, 9 up, 10 down, and 6 draws. On the other side for Colorado Springs, 13 victories, 8 losses, and 2 defeats. Oddly enough, Ricky, the 13 victories this season for Colorado Springs matches what they did last year.
And just the way that they came out starting the season was terrific. They were the team to beat. As of late, maybe put off the pedal just a bit, but there's just so much talent that they can change any type of game. For Brendan Burke's boys in the attacking third, they can score 3, 4, 5 goals at any given night. So it's a big challenge for John Hutchinson, especially the defensive side of this game.
Colorado Springs moving from left to right on your screen. Dark tops, dark bottoms, dark socks. El Paso moving from right to left. All white, the top and bottom.
You can already see Colorado Springs really trying to get the ball on the deck, move the ball from left to right. And as El Paso is going to drop in a bit deeper, play a mid to low block, make life extremely difficult for Colorado Springs to break down.
Both these teams coming off interesting performances a few days ago. For Colorado Springs, they got into a fight, and a big fight, with Orange County SC. They led 1-0, and then all of a sudden they were down 3-1 until late. Misha Galena made it 3-2, and then Haji Berry, the equalizer, in stoppage time. Got that game level at 3-3. And I know there's no moral victories, but if you are Colorado Springs, you have to feel good about the fact that you were down, you were out, but there was no quit.
Of course, as a team, you never want to just throw in the towel, even though you're down 2 goals. Shows a bit of character for Brendan Burke's boys to fight to the last minute. Have to deal with this opportunity here from El Paso.
Set piece. Just outside the 18, that shot steered aside by Caldwell. First look by him, and Jeff got a paw on it.
Talk about a wake-up call from Colorado Springs Switchbacks. You can just see how animated Jeff Caldwell is. Not good enough defensively from the Switchbacks just to deal with this ball. It's a second phase that really hurts him. He hits it extremely clean in. Talk about a big-time save. Zacharias laces through it. Technique, subpar.
Off the corner. It's the first one of the night. Yeah, Ricardo delivering on that. Zacharias, he hit that thing flush. And you might think about how Caldwell made that save, but don't discount where he's at. You see the pitch conditions right now. He's got Mother Nature. He's got the sun in his eyes.
Yeah, it's something that you have to deal with being in the life of a goalkeeper. Jeff Caldwell, player that I know personally, getting drafted with him, playing against him in college, growing up in the youth, more than capable of dealing with anything thrown at him. There's a reason why Colorado Springs just went out and got him in this offseason. It's been such a big part. Obviously, so well respected in this USL Championship.
Early takeaway, bad one at that. On the counter, a wide open net, and it's 1-0 Colorado Springs. A breakdown, a miss hit, and Haji Berry setting things up, but all of a sudden, it's 1-0 for the home team.
Talk about a dream start for Brendan Burke. Fans are into it. Just a bit too passive, lackadaisical here from you, but just waiting for the ball. Against the Switchbacks team, you cannot do that. They're too fast, too aggressive, too explosive, and really good unselfishness play from Michi Galina. Just a timing to roll it into the path of Haji Berry, and then talk about an easy finish for a player of that standard. 1-up within 5 minutes. Dream start for Brendan Burke.
Oh, for Berry, it's his 14th goal of the season. He leads the team. And more importantly, it gives Colorado Springs an early advantage. And now they can just settle into what they want to do. They're not going to be chasing the game, at least early on.
You look at the other bench, John Hutchinson's not going to be happy. Talking about how defensively sound they need to be. And again, Yuma with the heavy touch goes back the other way. These are little things that make a difference at this level. Against a team like Colorado Springs, you have to be turned on from minute 1 to minute 90. Don't want to let that ball come. You have to go meet that ball. See how opportunistic Michi Galina is. It makes you pay for it. You're down 1-0, and that's something you don't want against this Colorado Springs Switchbacks. One, they're full of confidence.
Alarming is exactly what it was for El Paso. They played extremely cavalier with that ball. And Haji Berry, with his goal, team leading now, 14th of the season, on another run. Berry again lobs this one in, and there's two. It's 2-0 Colorado Springs. The hometown faithful getting the salute there. And if you're El Paso, you've been hit with a hammer early on.
Don't think the boys in white know that the game has started. Again, it's a bit too loose in the middle of the field. Good pick out here from Ken Lindley, just to pick the pocket of Solignac. And that's a high line from El Paso. Plays to the detriment, just puts it over. Newton comes off his line, is not really sure, gets caught in no man's land, and again, Haji Berry, too much time to put this ball over the top to get his brace on the night within 10 minutes. That man, you know, has one thing on his mind. Obviously 3 points, but also 3 goals now. Dream start again for Brendan Burke, and John Hutchinson, not gonna know what's happening. And it's far too easy on the defensive side for El Paso.
You know, I hope the fans here tonight don't have a beer drinking game for every time that Haji Berry scores a goal, they got a drink, because it could be a long night for him. Berry with 2. He's looking for a hat trick in the first 10 minutes of this contest. He's got 15 goals now and counting this season. And you know why he was the MVP from a year ago. Just some guys have a knack for it. And Berry just seems like he's got spots. And Andrew was beat off the back line, lobbing it over Newton. And Newton shell-shocked early on.
When you come on the road, especially in this USL Championship, leagues around the world, it's the first 5 and 10 minutes that really sets the tempo for this game. It really gets the confidence within the team, moving the ball from left to right, really taking the sting out of the stadium. The Paso Locomotive have not done that here tonight. Obviously, 2 goals within 10 minutes. It's not ideal from John Hutchinson, but what's the response now?
Galina the opposite way. This will be a goal kick. Yeah, we think if it's another sport, Ricky, all of a sudden you have a manager going to the bullpen, you got a coach pulling his goalie, maybe a quarterback change. But here in soccer, on the pitch tonight, if you're John Hutchinson, what can you do? Because you don't want to panic.
No, you need to do what you're doing now. Get on the ball, connect passes through the middle of the field. Again, to stop the turnover.
Berry looking for the hat trick. He was taken down inside the 18, but that ball was played before he was brought down.
You have the players like Rose, like Calvillo. They're more than capable of dealing with pressure, able to pick out passes, break lines through their passing. This is something that you're not want to see again. Just down the middle. Lucky enough, Aguiluz is able to come across, deny Haji Berry his 3rd goal I can't believe I'm even saying that. Third goal within 10 minutes.
Unbelievable. Offside is a call. Halsey getting the start tonight for Colorado Springs. Yeah, you want to look up, and all of a sudden, you want to know exactly what's going on with El Paso's back line. It's almost like Colorado Springs heard about what was going on. Opportunity the opposite way, and it's 3-0. Flag was not up. Amo making it 3-0, 9 minutes in. Ricky, you be the judge here. It looked like one guy was way offside. That's not the case, though.
And we're talking about El Paso defensively, but it's been really offensively what's been hurting them. Unable to connect passes, especially through the middle of the field, leaving themselves vulnerable. You can see this beautiful pick out again from Cam Lindley. Great first touch from Mo, and then it's just a clinical finish. But where's the right back? Where's this combination play between the outside back and center back to understanding that if we turn over this ball, I need to be close and close that gap. A player like Elvis Mo doesn't need a second invitation to get his first goal on the night. 3-0 within 10 minutes. It's not good enough for El Paso FC, but give credit to Colorado Springs how ruthless they are. 3 looks at goals, 3 goals.
This is stat stuffing right now. Amo's got 12 goals now this season. He's trying to keep pace with Barry. Lindley so far has 2 assists. And if you're Evan Newton, you have nowhere to hide. Newton came into this contest in 25 starts. His goals against was 124, and the save percentage was 660. But he is wearing it right now.
You have to look at his front 4 as well.
Strike well outside. Newton, a rare stop.
The players in front of him are not giving him any help. Far too easy, getting broken down. Too stretched out, too many gaps, too many turnovers. A bit shell-shocked. 11 minutes into this game, El Paso, a team that really needs this win to stay up in the playoff picture. Obviously losing last time out. What's the reaction like from John Hutchinson against the Monterey Bay side? We played extremely well in the middle of the park. Just the only thing that was lacking was how clinical we were in front of goal. Should have walked out of Monterey Bay with all 3 points. This is the opposite here. Not good enough to start this game. Too loose in the middle of the field. Not good enough possession-wise. Positioning-wise, you're going to get hurt.
Well, Ricky, you've been a part of matches like this on one side or the other. I mean, take me through this if you are El Paso.
And the first thing you need to do is just connect passes. Like, get those nerves down, play yourself into that game. The way you're going to do that is connect your first pass, your second pass, clean first touch. Do the simple things well. Play yourself into this game. Get the confidence within the team. Move the ball from left to right. Don't go for the home run ball every time you get on the ball. Whether it's a 5-yard pass, a 10-yard pass, that's the way you're going to slowly work yourself back into this game. And
if you're El Paso, 1 goal at a time. But if you're Colorado Springs, it is human nature to sometimes take your foot off the collective gas. So how do you prevent that?
And that's another thing. Obviously, you don't want to get complacent. If you're Colorado Springs, if you're a forward and you're seeing the ball hit the back of the net, you got to keep on going. Keep your foot on the pedal. Try to get 4 or 5 in this first half. Try to run up to score. And like you said, you always want to score goals. That's why you're a striker. You're always hungry. You're always looking for that next play.
More on the run. Henriquez gets taken down. Approaching the attacking third, and this will be an early booking. Yuma with the yellow.
And again, they're just caught, spread out. That is your left center back coming across, coming through. Henriquez, sloppy turnover once again, and Yuma's out to dry. Now it's something you don't want if you're John Hutchinson. Your center back on a yellow card. 13 minutes into this game. Needs to be extremely careful now. The challenge that he goes into, discipline, and his position needs to be spot on from here on out.
El Paso's got to be sick to their stomach. To say they haven't played well would be an understatement. It's been a barrage. See? The header, multiple, followed around, and it's in the back of the net. They're going to wave it off, though. It's been that kind of a night. Wouldn't be surprised if it was 4-0.
You just see how spread El Paso is, especially when they're trying to build out of the back. Newton gets the foot on the ball, and then it's just 4 or 5 players on one side of the field, the other side to the rest of the players. You need to be more connected. You don't want to have 20, 25 yards between lines. It makes it so hard to break down an opposition, especially like Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs up in their goal differential total now to plus 11, nearly plus 12 right here.
You can just see, I think it's Erdman. It's a bit offside, a bit eager, trying to get on the end of it. Again, it's another danger opportunity when you have Cam Lindley on the ball. So good technically, able to whip in a ball from any type of angle.
If you're Colorado Springs, I don't blame him though, because we'll go back to Amo's goal in a few moments. But he got behind the back line before the ball was even near him. Flag wasn't up. He took advantage of it and made it 3-0. So put the emphasis on the officials, why don't you? Galena on a near run. So Barry with 2. Cam Lindley with a pair of assists. And Amo in the 9th minute making it 3-0. Keep in mind, El Paso has never lost to Colorado Springs in 16 outcomes. Last time these two teams played was back on July the 9th. El Paso won 1-0. Gomez, the 18th minute, the lone marker in that contest. But it's jumping here tonight inside Widener Field. The hometown faithful have plenty to cheer on this evening.
And again, you're going to see Haji Berry just drop in, starting as at number 10, but he's going to drop in next to the pocket. You'll see him next to Echeverria, Lindley as well, just giving them a different angle to build out. If you're El Paso, how do you deal with that? Do you bring Zacharias with him? Calvillo, Rose, you have a lot of communication. You don't want to let this Colorado Springs break you down, especially through the middle of the field. You have runners like Enriquez and Galena that can run around the edges. They can hurt you in just so many ways, this Colorado Springs switchback side.
Now it's a question of when do you start taking chances, though. Fox up to midfield and peeling back. Solinak out wide.
And again, you just see that ball connects. It's 4v4 going back the other way for Colorado Springs. You need to be a bit more collective, connected, especially through the middle of the field if you're El Paso Locomotive.
Well, the fascinating thing with what Colorado Springs is doing here tonight is nearly identical to what happened against Orange County SC. And head coach Brendan Burke had mentioned they felt like they outplayed Orange County. The fact that they were tied 1-1 at the end of the first half was rather annoying to him in many regards.
And that's something he probably related to his team, or relayed to his team, excuse me. Now the reaction, obviously, you do extremely well at this level, in this profession. Well is not what's going to give you goals, right? You need to be able to execute, be effective in your game plan. Talk about effective. Oh, you're up 3-0 within the first 20 minutes of this game. But still asking questions of El Paso. Really good showing from the home side so far.
Hume on the approach. Foster there to wipe it away. Yeah, it's just a game of inches, but then all of a sudden those inches appear wide-eyed for you. They led 1-0 against Orange County, then found themselves down 3-1 before their offense woke up rather late. But they've duplicated the output and the pressure. They outshot Orange County in that 3-3 draw, 16-7. And they control possession time, 66%. Caldwell coming out, covering that, no rebound.
Make no mistake about it, if that ball goes in earlier in that first opportunity for Zacharias, it's a totally different game.
Sure.
A goalkeeper that maybe changes and saves the momentum for the home side. You go back and you score on the bounce right after that.
That was a takedown. Fox bodying off. Looked like Galena that he took down. Andrew Fox making his 23rd start in 25 matches. Logging nearly 2,000 minutes so far. I mean, that's part of the back line that John Hutchinson had spoken about with us earlier this week, that they needed to come up big. And tonight it's been anything but that.
It just hasn't been good enough. And these players will tell you as well, John Hutchinson as well, the standard that he has in El Paso Locomotive, the organization that it always wants to be the top of the table. It's just maybe lack of focus. That first goal, the ball's, Yuma's waiting for that ball to come in. Galena picks his pocket, and any given day, Yuma's coming to that ball, meeting that ball. That really puts out that fire. The second goal, we see a Mo. The ball's just over the top to Haji Berry. Step too high. Not good understanding between Newton and his back line. And a Mo just has acres of space to bring this down, get a cup of coffee, and then put it in the back of the net. Those are things that are very fixable and should be fixable for El Paso Locomotive, the standard that they have, the quality of the players that they have on their roster as well.
Yeah, to your point, Ricky, both of these teams have had success in recent years. Both of them qualifying for the playoffs last year. Colorado Springs had 49 points. El Paso had 64. But early exits, they're trying to do more than just that. Reaching the playoffs is one thing, but you want to get beyond the quarterfinals. El Paso losing to Oakland. Colorado Springs losing to the eventual champs in Orange County. But this year's team feels a little bit different in the sense that they won't go as far as Haji Berry takes them. Now keep in mind, last season he had 25 goals. He crushed the competition, but they have balance layered across the front.
And it's just the type of way that they play as well. Just the fluidity throughout the middle of the field, the rotation with Cam Lindley. You go out and get Cam Lindley and Chavarria as well. Go out and get Enriquez. They have just so many weapons to help Haji Berry. That it allows Haji Berry to drop in. Last year we saw him play as a true number 9 to stay high, but this year he's dropping in a bit more, getting on the bim a bit more, dictating tempo. As you see, another thing coming in across. Just a bit late from Rosich, that leg that takes out Enriquez. Just the fluidity of the attacking unit for Brendan Brick's boys. It's just, they're so unpredictable, can hurt you in so many different types of ways. You just see all 3 goals completely different.
Halsey back to Berry. Galena in the box. Berry. Here's Halsey. Halsey with the chip. The header! Not this time. Newton with a nice stop. Amo looking for his second one of the night. Take a peek at it.
And this is better from El Paso. As Boehner comes in next to Aguiluz. Makes it very difficult for Humble Samoa just to rise up. Good textbook header, trying to squeak it into that near post, but good save in the end. Very easy save for Newton.
Lindley again. Enriquez had his arms up in the middle of the pitch asking for that ball. Here's Mahoney. Mahoney got high praise this week from Brendan Burke, talking about how sturdy he's been on the back line for Colorado Springs. And it's always important because you can get drunk at times about the offensive productivity, goals, assists, but the defense doesn't really get a lot of that attention. And in certain instances, you have to acknowledge that, especially for a guy like Mahoney.
It really gives balance to the team as well. Yeah, you can score all different types of goals, but what do you do on the defensive half as well to keep the ball out of your back of your net? And it's going to be a test for El Paso. not to get frustrated, not to come in late. We've seen it last couple minutes. Very hard challenges from players wearing white jerseys. As Cavill picks up a yellow card. This comes in extremely late. Just hip checks Echeverria.
Calvillo with the yellow. That yellow card has been issued to Calvillo. Sponsored by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. Diversus Health and well-being for all. Halsey getting the start tonight for Colorado Springs. Has not been a part of the starting lineup for Brendan Burke, but he gets the acknowledgement this evening.
We'd like to thank tonight's sponsor, GE Johnson Construction Company, who is the proud sponsor of the Switchbacks. Welcome to GE Johnson employees who are joining
One player we're not going to see tonight for Colorado Springs, Malik Johnson. He's been a bit nicked up. But Halsey, the 22-year-old, Haji. I think Barry figured he was offside, pulled up on that, but we play on. El Paso trying to switch the pitch. Into the box. The approach, Caldwell got both hands on it, punched it out. It'll be a corner.
This is better from El Paso. It starts on the second ball. As Calvillo understands, as we go route one, there's going to be a second ball. If I just come underneath Solignac, I'm able to pick this up. Brilliant run from Solignac from deep. I think if he crosses this ball, cuts it over his left shoulder, he has a lot more success for his oncoming players, but elects to go near post, trying to beat Jeff Caldwell cheating. In the end, good save from the Colorado Springs goalkeeper.
Comes out to cut down the angle. Calvillo on the corner. Bending it out. Near the 6. Outside, left foot not well struck at all. Seen better attempts from Francois in recent weeks, but not there. As we approach the 27th minute from Widener Field. It's a beautiful complex, 8,000 people that can sit. Opened up just last year. Construction, in fact, began in 2019. Opposite way, that right foot is just shanked. Calvillo looking to the heavens and then puts his head down in disgust. It's a souvenir for somebody.
What's better from El Paso once again? A little combination play on this left-hand side. As Francois just tucks in. It's Fox that understands. He stays in, let me go wide. Just clips his ball back. Calvillo, player that has that in his locker, is going to be frustrated, disappointed with the result of that one.
El Paso's last contest against Monterey Bay FC, they got beat 1-0. They dominated that contest, out shooting Monterey Bay FC 12-6. But they had 2 shots on target. Control possession time 68% to 32. Outchanced them on corners 12-3. So statistically, they had them across the board. And for John Hutchinson, he felt like it was one of their better performances this season. They just didn't get the results. And Brendan Burke acknowledged that with us. He felt like El Paso probably should have scored 5 or 6 goals in that match and just didn't.
Be sure to stick right after the match for the fireworks.
29th minute as the sun continues to set. Take a look at Yuma. 4th season with the club and the team captain. been around the block from Madrid, Spain. Cam Lindley down right now. Lindley down, getting up. This injury brought to you by Centura Health. If you're just joining us, Haji Berry scoring in the 5th minute and in the 6th minute. Elvis Amo in the 9th minute. 3-0 is a score. That is not a misprint. Cam Lindley with a couple of assists in this thing. Misha Galina with a helper on the first goal. Amo down, still not getting up. Yeah, it's a stick mark all over his shin. Amo wearing it. Amo scoring his 12th goal of the season tonight. Following Barry's 2. Barry's got 15. Galina coming into this match has 9. Amo's down, getting up now, and the fans continue to push on. See Barry there. 25 goals last season, 15 and counting now. 25 goals, tying the league record for goals in a single season. Gotta figure he wants to break the record this year. He's got some time.
As a striker, when you have 2 goals in that first half, you're booming with confidence. Not that he's ever lacking confidence, especially with this guy as well. Misha Galina.
Galina, Enriquez.
Kickoff family of dealerships, official automotive sponsor of the Switchbacks, offering over 3,000 new pre-owned vehicles. Experience no longer drive, Colorado. Online anytime at colong.com.
Erdman.
You can see El Paso starting to get their footing in this match. Took some time, obviously not ideal to be down 3-0 in this first half, making life a bit harder for Colorado Springs to break them down, forcing some sloppy turnovers. Again, able to recover this one. Aguiluz again. You need to be tighter as your front line presses up. Where's the back line? You need that second action. You have players like Cam Lindley, Echeverria, Haji Berry, in fact, as well. It comes down, but plays as that third center midfielder. If you don't have players in and around that area in the center of the park, it can hurt you in so many different types of ways.
Francois, the insert. Calvillo teed it up. This will be a corner. So now it comes down to creativity. And if you are El Paso, about playing more out wide and playing those angles, correct?
Yeah, you have Francois, who's been, I think, their white spot attacking-wise for El Paso on this left-hand side. really being brave and taking players one-on-one and just putting balls into dangerous areas. Obviously, when you have a player like Eric Calvillo, set pieces are going to be extremely important just to cause a bit of chaos in front of Jeff Caldwell and that backliner Colorado Springs. That's how you're going to get into this game again.
Another attempt the opposite way. Solinak was searching for somebody on his side. Barry wanted the ball, and here he is on a run. Haji Barry, does he have the accelerator in him? He does, but he can't get to that ball in time. Nice recovery from Yuma.
And he needed to be right there. He needed to get that challenge to perfection, and he does just that. Great understanding. That's his break from Haji Barry. Just comes across pitch perfect. That stitch defending effort from Yuma. If you get that one wrong, you're either seeing a second yellow or Haji Barry's in on goal, asking questions of Newton.
Yeah, being fast is one thing, but game speed is a completely different animal. Yuma showed it there. Francois almost blew a tire. Held his footing, but could not maintain possession. Galena.
And again, you just see how spread out El Paso is. That picture right there is 3v5 going back the other way. Throw in, the outside backs coming involved. Ken Lindley, maybe a like-for-like man-to-man game in the defensive half for El Paso. That's nothing you don't want from Hutchinson. Aside from Colorado Springs, is just so explosive in the way that they run. If they run in behind, that leaves space in front of them to operate because they drag players out of position so well. So you need that help in the middle three to have that balance, to know when to join the attack, but also do their defensive duties.
It just feels like, at least when Colorado Springs is in the attacking third, there's more real estate to navigate through.
Well, you just see how high their front four players are for El Paso. They don't have a turnover like this. It has a lot of space for Colorado Springs to operate. It's a soft foul there.
Solinak bodied off the ball. It'll be a free kick. Mahoney from Buffalo, New York, making his 22nd start and 22nd contest. Francois. Enriquez.
I really like what El Paso has been doing over the last 5-10 minutes, really trying to stretch this game horizontal. Because when you have Francois, you have Gomez, you have a lot of talent on the field for John Hutchinson. When you spread the field, it makes Michi Galena, Enriquez drop back and do their defensive duties, which obviously they're not known preferably for. And if you have them, you create overloads on the edges, able to beat that player, put a ball into a dangerous area. And again, you force a corner kick, which this man on the ball always puts in quality service.
Calvillo, 4, making 5 in the box for El Paso. Bending it in, punched out by Caldwell. Yuma on the chip, a little too strong on it. Got the right idea. El Paso had 3 attackers on the opposite end of the bar. As we approach the end of the first half here. shots on goal, 7-5 in favor of El Paso. See the 5 shots though by Colorado Springs, 3 of them making it count. Possession time's fairly even, but things have certainly simmered down a little bit.
You look at the right side of your screen. Enriquez is just in a soft spot between lines. You're able to get him the ball to face on that half turn. You have the legs right there. That ball connects. It's 3v3 going back the other way. You have Michi Galina on this right, 4v3 now. You had Michi Galina into the fold. Just the little things defensively that you need to tighten up if you're El Paso. Whether it's conversation between Yuma and Rose, Aguiluz and Rose, whoever it may be in the middle of the park for El Paso, that's something you need to clean up. Because if Enriquez gets on that ball, it's a track race going down the other way.
On the approach again, Francois setting this up with a nice pass. See the sabermetrics getting involved in this. Expected goals well beyond for Colorado Springs. Ander to Yuma. Calvillo. Lilly. Backtracking the other way. Amo. Amo trying to make a move. Not enough finesse on that.
And give credit to Cam Lilly in the middle of the park for Colorado Springs. His first look when he recovers a ball is to go forward. Just that understanding between that right back and right center back for El Paso has been hurting them. Boehner's getting caught far too high, leaving so much real estate for Mo just to drift in. Good pick up from Cam Lindley. And if you're Elvis Mo, you're going to want this one back. First touch gets away with you. It really makes that second movement that much harder as Aguiluz just comes over and picks your pocket.
Francois, he was labeled offside. He's not happy with that.
Let's let him know we're here and make some noise!
Approaching the 42nd minute here. Colorado Springs so far at home this season, 7 up, 3 down, 1 draw. So they protected home field. And they fared well on the road. 13 wins coming into tonight. 13 victories, 8 defeats, and 2 draws. Most recent contest was a draw, a 3-3 draw. El Paso, a game under 500 at 9-10-6. Well behind the pace from last year. They had 18 victories a season ago and just 4 defeats. But they've made the postseason the first 3 years of their existence. They want to make it 4. Oddly enough for Colorado Springs, they're trying to make the playoffs in back-to-back years for the first time since 2015 and 2016. Enriquez smelled the defense on his back. Here's Newton.
They're having a really hard time, El Paso, trying to break through, breaking out of the back from this press from Colorado Springs. A lot of the attack from the Switchbacks have been just a result of how high they've been pressing and forcing turnovers in their attacking half. So you look at the players in the middle of the park, Calvillo, Zacharias, Rose, to drop down and just give a different supporting angle. As they're overloading the middle of the field, the Switchbacks go around them instead of through them. Again, it's a sloppy turnover here.
Lindley got dragged down. No whistle, no foul. Galena wanted that back. Galena with 7 helpers coming into tonight, added an assist on Barry's first marker. So he's got 9 goals, 8 assists. Enriquez, opposite way. Tell you what, Haji Berry was hanging out by himself. Nice move. Berry trying to manipulate the defense. Can't get a shot off. Into the 45th minute. It's been a free-flowing game so far. This match favored by Colorado Springs. Trying to log their 14th victory of the season. That would eclipse their total from all of last year. We'll have stats and highlights of this first half at the break. Featured by this guy. Number 10 has been a 10 tonight. Enriquez lets it fly. Maybe not as polished as he'd like to be on that strike.
Again, it's just that space on the right side of the back line from El Paso. Just too many gaps for Haji Berry just to slowly move into. You have players like Enriquez, Cam Lindley, Michi Galena that can put a ball on a rope on a dime over 30, 40, 50 yards. Colorado Springs switchback side is just too good to give them that time and space, especially in that final third, where you want to make lines extremely compact, really difficult to break down. It hasn't been the case for El Paso, and obviously you see the result of that 3-0 about to go into halftime.
Got 2 minutes of stoppage time. It's brought to you by TikTok Shop. 2 minutes added to it. And Francois, see him still chirping away as Halsey was mixed up with him.
Just frustrating night here for Francois, who again has been showing some courage as well, just to go 1v1 to players, trying to make things happen, taking the initiative in the attacking half for El Paso. He's been the bright spot for John Hutchinson. Just hasn't had much help with players running off him, combination play. Francois is more than capable of producing.
Jeff Caldwell's been quiet so far. First shot of the match came his way about 2 minutes into the affair. Given a big stop, and after that, everything has settled down for him, and the offense has taken effect. Got a yellow here. Halsey's kind of puzzled right now, along with Erdman. Erdman with the booking. And the final whistle of this first half will indicate that will be that. So 45 minutes in the books here from Widener Field, and it's all Colorado Springs. Haji Berry with a couple of goals in this thing. Elvis Amo with 1. And Berry, who was our Medela player of the watch, has then been just that. 2 goals in the 4th and 6th minute, and he has been lights out.
Yeah, it's been all Colorado Springs switchbacks in the attacking half, but it's really been their defensive turning into attacking moments, pressing high, making life extremely difficult for El Paso. If you're El Paso Locomotive, took a bit to really wake up. The first 10-15 minutes weren't really on the field. When we see a team like Colorado Springs is going to make you pay. And that's how you walk into the break. Obviously, the next 5, 10, 15 minutes coming out of that second half is going to be extremely important for John Hutchinson's boys and their reaction.
Well, it's been all Colorado Springs in this one. El Paso needs to recover, and they do it quickly. 45 minutes in the books here from Widener Field. Switchbacks with a 3-0 lead. Haji Berry lead the charge. He's got 15 goals in the season and 2 here tonight.
Let's cheer them on.
One guy was way off.
Get your cell phone out and turn your camera on, because the Fox 21 Storm Team has a new weather app that you can download right now by scanning this code. It allows our team of meteorologists to send you push alerts wherever you are. It's a lot like us knocking on your door.
Oh.
With these weather alerts, we deliver important storm information for your specific area with detailed videos directly from the Fox 21 Storm Team Weather Center. It's weather in your neighborhood. Download the new Fox 21 Storm Team weather app today.
If you're interested in the national, state, or local economy, I'll be doing an hour-long presentation on September 1st from 1:30 to 4:30 here at the Enn Center for the Arts. It'll be followed by Q&A and a panel dedicated to workforce. Registration is now open. uccseconomicforum.com.
It's time to stuff the bus with school supplies.
To help local families in need.
Safeway, Swire Coca-Cola, Fox 21, and iHeartRadio have teamed up to ring in the new school year.
Many students need essential school supplies more than ever.
$1, $5, or any amount you can afford at Safeway, or drop off donations at your local fire station.
For a list of supplies, participating Safeways, fire station locations, or how to make a cash donation,
go to ChristmasUnlimited.org.
Back at the break right now, El Paso and Colorado Springs. Thanks for joining us on a fine Friday night inside Widener Field. David Gascon, Ricky Lopez-Espin. Ricky, we mentioned so much at the beginning of this contest about how El Paso has dominated this all-time series. 7 up, nothing down, 9 draws, and it has been exactly as it is advertised with El Paso leading it wire to wire.
And it's just so impressive. Obviously, you talk about Colorado Springs Switchbacks, and you talk about their attacking power. Just look how the Locomotive has outscored the Switchbacks 16-6. You have Haji Berry, you have Galena, you have Amo. That gives credit to Mark Lowry and El Paso Locomotive, what they've been able to do against this team defensively and offensively. Obviously, last time they played against each other, they come out with the 1-0 win, but it's just so good how El Paso Locomotive has been throughout their USL Championship career. They've just been so good, never an easy out for any team.
Yeah, it certainly has been the case, and defensively, El Paso has been strong against them. And then offensively, Colorado Springs just hasn't had much to talk about. Gomez in the 18th minute was the difference maker in this one to make it 1-0, and that goal did hold up back on July the 9th. And yeah, the trend does continue. 7 victories, no losses, and 9 draws. You got to imagine that's going to be in the head of Colorado Springs at some point.
And that's something that John Hutchinson talked to us on our phone call with them. He said, look, we got the better of them last time we played them out, and really controlled that game from start to finish. And obviously Brendan Burke and the boys, they want to have their revenge. They know about it. They don't like it. Colorado Springs wants to be the best team in this USL Championship, and it starts here tonight.
Yeah, and it's obviously the Western Conference. If you want to get things done and move up the totem pole, you have to do things against rivals like this. Has not been the case for Colorado Springs so far. Well, that being said, we still have a second half to be played. So El Paso and Colorado Springs, 45 minutes in the books, so we'll come right back. Hope you're enjoying this one. We'll come right back at Widener Field, back in 60 seconds.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals. I'm on a routine. I'm on a routine.
Back here's the scene with Colorado Springs leading El Paso 3-0. It's been all Colorado Springs in this one. Haji Berry, 2 goals to lead the team so far with 14 and 15 on the campaign. But Ricky, we take a look around the league right now, what's going on as we make our way towards postseason activity.
You talk about Tampa Bay Rowdies, how good they've been. Well-deserved Neil Collins for Coach of the Month. And then, yeah, there's a big game September 7th, Sacramento. Unbelievable, taking down Sporting Kansas City. What scenes that were at Health Field Park. We traveled to Orlando City, and then eFootball Player of the Month, Milan Alaski. Talk about a guy that was on fire. Every time he got into that final third, it looked like he was finding the back of the net with 16 goals on the year, as he's your Golden Boot leader at the moment.
For now, right? Until Haji Berry comes out for the second half. As we take a look around the world and what's going on domestically, San Antonio FC beating Loudoun United FC 2-1. FC Tulsa getting the better of Miami. San Diego taking care of business against Monterey Bay. The Charleston 3-1 winners over New York. And Orange County and Phoenix just underway. Match is scoreless right now. So those are the 5 out of town. On the ESPN menu, what we have on tap.
And you have Sacramento and Orange County. What does Orange County do against this game against Phoenix Rise? Is going to have a lot of implications for that one. Is their playoffs hopes still going to be alive? Lou City welcoming Memphis 901. That is an interesting one. Memphis 901 has really come into their own in this season, and then Tampa Bay hosting, as we see here, El Paso Locomotive. Hopefully a better first half showing on that match.
You can find all of it in our ESPN family of networks. The Deuce and Deportes, this one on the Plus. And right now it's all Colorado Springs 3-0 as they have the advantage in this thing over El Paso. El Paso 7-0-9 all time against Colorado Springs. But we're 45 minutes away from seeing that run come to a close. Second half, just moments away. We'll be back.
You know, it says out of workshop for a reason.
I'm so sorry to bother you, boss, but they moved the World Cup to the holidays.
Wait, like the actual World Cup? To my holiday season? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah, but that's my time to shine. So, I mean, how am I supposed to compete with that? You know what? Get Blitzen on the phone. I got to get back up there right now. I gotta go.
Fox 21's Loving Living Local is exploring outdoor Colorado in this fully loaded 4xe Jeep Wrangler, and now is your chance to win big. Snap a pic of yourself enjoying Colorado's outdoors. Submit that to fox21news.com. Plus, tune in to Loving Living Local for special segments highlighting things to do and places to see in our beautiful state. At the end of the year, one lucky winner will receive a gift certificate for a prepaid 2-year lease on a brand new Jeep from Perkins Motors. So, show us how you outdoor Colorado.
Do you have a kiddo who loves soccer and the Switchbacks? Now's their time to shine. One lucky kiddo could win a family 4-pack of tickets to a Switchbacks home game, a chance to be featured on Fox 21's Loving Living Local, a photo with mascot Ziggy and Maximus, and the chance to kick a goal with them during Nava's game day preview. Just go to fox21news.com under the More tab. Click on Switchbacks FC and submit your child's best soccer playing photo.
Back inside Widener Field, 3-0 Colorado Springs. Fans are ecstatic about this thing. Gilbert with a couple of goals in this one. That's where they have the comfortable advantage. Tonight's honorary healthcare professional of the match is Michelle Powell. She's the surgery scheduler at St. Francis Hospital. See her there. Thank you, Michelle, for all you've done to help the community. Healthcare professional of the match is co-sponsored by Encore Electric, along with Olson Plumbing and Heating. Take a look at the first half highlights in this thing, and Ricky, I'd say there's just one guy you need to focus in on.
And it's this man right here, Haji Berry. Michi Galina, not good enough here from Yuma, just waiting for the ball, and then really unselfishness from Michi Galina, and it's that timing. It makes it look a lot easier than it is. If he plays this ball way too early, this ball doesn't get through to Haji Berry, but he's able to take the attention of Aguiles and Newton to come across and just slots it across to Haji Berry. Probably his easiest goal in his campaign. And then here, Cam Lindley just putting the ball over the top. Too much pace for Aguiles, and Newton's caught in no man's land. Really classy finish from Haji Berry, just up and over to get his 15th goal on the campaign, second on the night within 5 minutes. Talk about a firing start.
And then Amo in the 9th minute.
And again, it's just the story of this first half. El Paso making it extremely difficult, trying to play out of the back, spread out in their back line. Bonner's caught way too high. Aguiles not quick enough to come across. And you give that time and space to Elvis Amel, he's going to make you pay to get that ball. Cool, calm, collected, clinical finish. And then we walk into halftime 3-0.
Yeah, Evan Newton hung out to dry. As you see the first half stats in this thing, goals obviously 3-0, shots 7-6 in favor of El Paso, but all 6 of them for Colorado Springs on target. Possession nearly 50-50. But everything else has been rather even, but for El Paso, that just doesn't matter. It's not going to get it done.
And you talk about the possession for El Paso, but what is that possession? So you can have the ball as much as you want, but what do you do with the ball? That is what's going to count. Getting that ball in that final third is going to be critical, in the next 45 minutes. You need to get Francois involved a bit more. Gomez, we haven't seen Solignac. We haven't said his name. 7 goals and 4 assists on that year. So what does that second half look like for him? Get him into dangerous situations and dangerous position. Really important first 10 minutes for John Hutchinson and El Paso Locomotive.
That's Ricky Lopez Espin. I'm David Gascon. And these are the combatants tonight. Colorado Springs leading 3-0. They're flip-flopping sides, moving from right to left on your screen. El Paso moving from left to right in the white uniforms. We'll have a few substitutions as this night goes along, but a couple of them to open up this second half. I mean, take me through this then, Ricky. What kind of adjustments would you make if you're El Paso?
You need to start this game in the second half completely different than you started the game, obviously on the front foot. Don't be afraid to go route one. Doesn't need to be pretty. Just play yourself into this game. Stretch the back line of Colorado Springs. Make them make decisions. The way you're going to do that is get on the ball. Get your players, your playmakers, Calvillo, Rose, Zacharias on the ball in the middle of the park. Give those players to your special player, Solignac, Gomez, Francois. Get them in dangerous positions, and then you have to be extremely clean. Again, silly turnover in their defensive half.
Dylan Merez has come into the contest for El Paso. Francois will sit. To the box just outside. This shot is airmailed. Richie Ryan coming in for Liam Rose. Substitutions are brought to you by William J. Hibble, Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Learn more at hibblecenter.org. So Ryan in, 6 for 22. Ryan from Ireland, spent a great deal of time there, especially early on in 2010, 2011. Won the League of Ireland Cup back in 2013. Also played for the Ottawa Fury. Enriquez just outside.
Just given away far too cheaply. Their defensive half of your El Paso Locomotive. You have to have that balance to pick and choose when you fancy yourself to break lines through your passing, or when just put the ball over the top and reset, step your line up.
Yuma. Evan Newton victimized in the first half. 6 shots coming his way, and 3 got behind him. Around one defender, that strike, bat away by Caldwell. Rebound, steered aside. Back line nicely collecting themselves as Caldwell got away with one there.
And much like the first half, it's a good save from Jeff Caldwell just to keep the clean sheet intact. A good move from Gomez. You can just see the explosiveness for El Paso. When they break that first line, you have players like Calvillo up in a higher position in the pockets to get that ball on a half turn, to peek over his shoulder. You just free the winger, and you have Gomez is a very skillful 1v1 player.
Yeah, Aaron Gomez, 6 goals in the season, but we have not heard a peep from him so far in this contest. Trying to get right here. Calvillo trying to work it. Caldwell sees it all the way in. John Hutchinson can only do so much with halftime adjustments, but his playmakers need to make some here.
The way you're going to do that is just change the point of attack. Colorado Springs, the team defensively, they want to squeeze the game, whether it's on one touch line or the other. So if you have the ability to pick your head up, go out the other way, you're going to have a lot of success. That's what we've seen early in the second half, moving the ball from left to right, starting on the left-hand side, ending on the right-hand side.
Foster. Echeverria stepping up. Lindley in hot pursuit. Here's Maris. The handle. Galena shoots that one, just missed the corner. nearly identical to what happened to start this contest out. El Paso making the mistakes. Colorado Springs trying to take full advantage of it.
And just caught between two minds. Yuma, again, far too casual. Michigalina, he smells blood. He's going to come out you like a shark. Trying to find that far post. But give credit to Newton. It's a good save down to his right-hand side. Just see how explosive, how opportunistic Michigalina is.
This corner is brought to you by Pikes Peak National Bank. Bank well, be well, and cheer loud. Lindley trying to go the opposite way. Nobody's home. Looking for anything from El Paso offensively tonight. They had 39 goals in the season, but their goal differential heading into this one was +8. Now only at 5. They've not had a lot to write home about this evening.
As Cam Lilly gets beaten here, hits the wrong side. Here of Maris just trying to keep his jersey. He's always going to see yellow there. A big bear hug.
Yeah. Lilly there with the booking in the 52nd minute. Maris out wide. Gomez. Nobody around for him, so here comes Yuma. Playing to the angles is El Paso. Won't mean anything. Ramirez, left foot, pulls the trigger, and he finds the back of the net. Nothing but twine. It's 3-1. Well, that was a bullet top shelf. And El Paso has some life.
And I talked about what's a reaction like coming out of halftime. When you're a substitute, you give something that was missing from this game. And Maris gives you that. Just the ability to pick out this far corner with his left foot. How cleanly he strikes this. There's nothing Colo can do. And as a substitute, just giving your side a bit of quality that was lacking in that first half. The bolt of energy. Brilliant take for Maris to get his 6th on the year. Big impact from the substitute in this match.
He hit that thing flush. Goal occurring in the 53rd minute. 8+ minutes into the second half. That's exactly what you need if you're an El Paso fan. Anything to cheer about. And get you set yourself off the floor.
And Brendan Burke is not going to be happy just with the lack of players closing down the time and space on top of that 18-yard box. A bit of complacency has crept in to this switchback side. Let's see how they started the game. Just high power, running in behind, a lot of pace, a lot of power, a lot of hunger in the way they approached that first half. It hasn't quite been the same since they've gotten up 3-0. And that's human nature, right? Obviously, when you have 3-0 in a soccer league, you feel fairly confident, especially so early in the match. Maybe this goal from Maris wakes you up.
Starting it again, Ryan Berry on the counter. Nearly got to Galena. He would have been off to the races. So Maris his 6th in the 53rd minute. Solinak with the helper. That's his 5th assist of the year. Cuts the deficit to 2. Nice touch pass. Boehner into the box. No. But this will be a corner for El Paso.
Just gives you a different look when you have an outside back that stays extremely high, like Boehner does. The ability to get to the final third, such a value to have for any coach. To create another set piece opportunity here as Ryan comes over.
Ryan looking to make a mark on the stat sheet. No goals, no helpers so far this season, nearly 1,700 minutes. Caldwell came well out of his line. Bat that thing away at the last second. These are do or die moments for the keeper. Caldwell rather fortunate.
And as a goalkeeper, when you come off your line, you need to be extremely sure to get any type of touch on this ball. Just a change of direction. Really well done there from Jeff Caldwell.
Calvillo back into the box. That left foot redirected in, and we have a one-goal game. El Paso's not going away quietly. That thing was quick, it was decisive. Aaron Gomez making it 3-2. Zacharias looks like he'll get a yellow, but back to the goal.
And there's just lack of urgency throughout the Switchbacks offensive unit. You can just see far too easy, and then too many players just standing around, not touch tight, not man marking. Good understanding again from Gomez just to put this ball in a dangerous area, and then Soloniak, the true goal scorer, always in the right spot at the right time in a dangerous situation. Just needs to redirect this one in, and now we have a game. Really good start to the second half from John Hutchinson and El Paso Locomotive.
We had mentioned it to start this second half that Aaron Gomez was rather silent for the first 45 minutes. All of a sudden, he's had touches in the second half, and he's been dangerous. He sets up Soloniak there. For Soloniak, his 8th goal of the season. As you see, yellow cards being issued on both benches now. Well, I know in USL Championship competition, no lead is safe. But you got to imagine if you're Colorado Springs leading 3-0 at home at the end of 45, you can pretty much call it a night. And now all of a sudden, you talk about a wake-up call. This is it.
Yeah, just lack of defending in and around that 18-yard box. If you're a center back, defensive player gets to that byline, first thing you need to do is be touch tight with your attacker. Because space is not going to score the goal, a player is going to score the goal. So if you're able to be goal side of your player and not allow the ball get through, you're doing your job. Too many players are ball watching. We give credit to Soloniak not to get drawn in into the traffic, just to stay his ground. Say, as this ball comes across, I have an easy finish. He does just that, just to pull this game, put it on its head.
That header. And so for Gomez, it's the 7th assist of the year. And Soloniak, his 8th goal of the contest, 8th goal of the season, excuse me. And for El Paso, 2 goals in the last 4 minutes. This is eerily similar to what happened in the first half to them. The give and take, right? If you're just joining us, Colorado Springs scored 3 goals in the first 9+ minutes of this match. Things settle down to open up the second half. El Paso scored 2 in a 4-minute span. Well, we thought we'd see plenty of goals tonight. It has not been disappointing at any means. And now the hometown faithful a bit restless.
season ticket member for stand right there for the info on the 2023 benefits.
El Paso been beat up. See that figure, Ricky. 1 goal in their last 5 matches, now 2 here in a 4-minute span. It's like walking in a desert and finding an oasis. To the box, just outside now.
It was really interesting on our phone call with John Hutchinson early this week. You asked him, David, you said, you see that ball hit the back of the net, you just think the floodgates are going to open for your boys. He says he always had that feeling as a coach, with the amount of quality that we had on our roster. It only takes 1 goal as an attacking player just to switch your confidence. Hopefully you see that you scored 2 goals in 4 minutes. Does a world of good for this El Paso side, who was maybe shell-shocked coming out in that first half. Really good response here in the second half. You have guys teams that if they go down 3-0, especially to a team like Colorado Springs, they just hang their head, throw in the towel and say, look, we're done. We're going to take the loss here and go back home to Texas. Talks about the character, not only from the boys on the field, but that man right there, John Hutchinson. Starts with him, just trickles down every day in training. The standard to not give up. We have the quality, just need to execute it. It'll be a brilliant opportunity here to get that 3rd equalizing goal.
Yeah, Dylan Maris' goal in the 53rd minute was the first goal that El Paso has scored since July the 9th. Galena got upended. He's not feeling good about himself. That was a troublesome approach. And we have a booking here. See exactly who this is on. Could be Boehner. Wait for confirmation on this. This is the official Brent Stevis.
As this ball goes up, just coming underneath. I honestly don't think there's any ill will there from Boehner. Galena is a bit blindsided. Maybe it is that right shoulder, my right arm that the referee sees. You see the confusion on the El Paso player.
So El Paso scoring 2 goals tonight. Keep in mind, the last time they scored was against Colorado Springs on July the 9th in the 18th minute. So they had gone 4 straight matches without a goal. They've lost 4 in a row. They're 1-4 in their last 5. And including tonight, they've been outscored in their last 4 matches, make it 5, by a combined 10-2 differential.
And as they try to equalize this game, it's going to be a big challenge. Yes, scoring a goal in any type of professional soccer game is a challenge, but just the way that they approach it, as you're trying to commit a lot of numbers forward and really put pressure on this Colorado Springs back line. It's really interesting not to leave yourself vulnerable going back the other way. You have players like Haji Berry, Elvis Amo, Michi Galena that can turn this game on just with their running. They see a lot of real estate. They're going to run into that real estate, and you have the players underneath them. Echeverria, Lindley able to show off their technique and passing range. So you're looking at the players in the middle of the park to have that balance, whether it's Yuma, whether it's Aguiluz, whether it's Richie Ryan that comes in, that triangle in the middle of the field defensively, specifically for John Hutchinson, is going to be extremely important.
Here they go. Zacharias with a move. Zacharias into the box. We're all level at 3. Zacharias setting things up, and we have a brand new affair. And this is exactly what John Hutchinson mentioned to us earlier in the week. is when things break loose for this offense. Watch out.
And again, it's just quick passing around the edges and a bit of brilliance here from Zacharias. You think he's gonna pull the trigger, but it's that second pass right there that throws off and catches Jeff Caldwell wrong-footed. He brings across Halsey doing his defensive duties. Talk about such good vision, how clever Zacharias is. And then again, it's that man, the substitute, making that impact felt to put the ball in the back of the net, to get his brace on the Nightmares. Now we have a game. Just feel the tension in the stadium, just feeling extremely tight now.
So Dylan Maris off the bench, scored in the 53rd minute and just drew this thing level in the 65th. Maris now has 7 goals in the season.
And again, it's just a defensive breakdown once again for the Switchbacks. As this ball shifts over to your left-hand side, if you're Foster, you need to step up and close that down. And what's the rotation on the back end look like? Erdman, Mahoney, when he gets beat far too easily, just leaves his feet and lunges for the ball. You just ride Zacharias to the byline into a completely different play, but you bite, gives that player that creativity, the ability to cut in on you. And then the rest is history. The vision, the movement from Mares, causing all sorts of problems in the second half.
Playing long again, Zacharias, it's 4-3. Zacharias could do no wrong, and Soniak gives them a 1-goal lead. Wow. This is just completely out of nowhere.
And it's El Paso saying, anything you can do, I can do better. I can switch to point of attack. Again, it's Mares at the thick of it. Just puts this ball, the lack of marking, the lack of rotation. The line is all disorganized from Colorado Springs, but give credit to, once again, Zacharias to hit this first time. If he takes a second touch, it closes down the angle, and then talk about a classy finish from Soloniak. Again, not having to move, just staying in a dangerous situation, staying centrally as a striker. Just lets this ball, doesn't need to hit it too hard. The movement, the momentum from Zacharias, just needs to redirect it, coming back to where it came from to give El Paso a lead. 4-3, approaching the 69th minute.
So Colorado Springs scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, 3 goals in 9 minutes. El Paso has scored 4 goals in the last 14 minutes. If you're a fan, you love this. If you're a head coach, you want to pull your hair out.
It's really shocking. Defensive mistakes, it's 101. It's just if a player steps up in the back line, you want to step with your defensive line, so you get caught out. You want to play an offside trap that goes wrong. Only Foster's the last one to step in.
Amo coming off. Aaron Wheeler coming into the contest. Substitution brought to you by William J. Hibble, Sports and Medicine Performance Center. Learn more at hibblecenter.org. You see Wheeler there. A native from Baltimore, Maryland. For Brendan Burke, he is making some tweaks now, and he has to do it in a hurry.
Just seems like Colorado Springs Switchbacks just lacking ideas at the moment, especially on that front line. And what that's going to bring It's going to put Enriquez into the middle of the field. Wheeler's going to be that focal point. Haji Bear is going to shift out to this left-hand side. Maybe have a spark of creativity. Had so much success in that first half, just playing through the lines, playing direct, stretching out this back line for El Paso. It's gone away from that. It's credit to the defensive balance from John Hutchinson.
Galena tried to approach it with some finesse to Lindley, but that thing was wiped away. Here's Yuma. Conguila into the contest. Beverly replacing Echeverria. Saw him there in the touch. Barry wanted it back, did not get it. Foster. Isaiah looking, streaking right down the middle of the pitch was Wheeler, but a little too strong for it. This thing was in the bag for Colorado Springs. 3-0. They had outclassed El Paso. Only problem is you got to play a full 90.
Yeah, it's a word that we keep on bringing up. And we said, David, just that complacency, just not playing at the same tempo that you did in that first half, not having the same urgency and the quality, especially in the middle of the field. That man had so much success picking apart El Paso, breaking lines through his passing, but hasn't had the same impact. Brendan Burke, you're going to want him on the ball a bit more. You have to give credit to El Paso. Coming out of the break, they're showing a bit of fight and a bit of character, just showing how much it means. And that talks about culture. It's about playing for each other, the organization, how much it means to not give up, especially against a team like this high power, high firing Colorado Springs side. I don't think this game is over yet.
Baji, Wheeler needs to make another move, but he could not. Closed off nicely by Ander. This is the 4th time this season El Paso has scored 4 goals or more. They scored 5 against New York Red Bulls 2 back on June the 25th. Did so against Monterey Bay FC on April the 9th. And scored 4 in a 5-4 defeat against Las Vegas. So when the dam busts loose, it certainly does. .43 goals now this season for El Paso.
The world is your wine bar with 90+ sellers. Grab your favorite 90+ sellers wine at any of the club stations or a retailer near you.
If you are a Colorado Springs fan, you must be shaking your head. We highlighted it at the beginning of the show and into the break. Switchbacks have yet to beat El Paso in 16 games. They've lost 7. They played to 9 draws. That includes a 1-0 defeat back in the early month of July. Looks like Brett Halsey.
We would like to thank tonight's sponsor, GE Johnson Construction Company, who is a proud supporter of the Switchbacks. Welcome to GE Johnson employees who are joining us tonight in the north end bleachers.
For El Paso, after tonight's contest, they'll take on San Diego Loyal SC on the 20th. Colorado Springs, they got to get on a plane ahead of Sacramento, August the 17th against Sacramento Republic FC. So it's a rather quick and abrupt turnaround for them. Injury stoppage brought to you by Centura Health. As Halsey finally back up to his toes. Issa Ryan coming in for him now. There's Issa. Grand Blanc, Michigan. He's had a boatload of experience, made his pro debut at the age of 16. Played also at Duke, so he knows a lot about playing the high stakes game here in the United States. Now, Ricky, I might need to go into the inventory of you and see if you've ever been a part of a match that looked so one-sided and tilted the other way at the end of a full 90.
No, I don't think I could say. I don't think many players can say they played in a game like this. You'd like to think that Colorado Springs, that has championship aspirations, they take a lead 3-0, especially at home. I'm going to put this, kill this game in, walk home with 3 points. But like you said, David, this is the USL Championship, and no lead is ever safe. The quality that is in this league and this Western Conference in particular, how competitive it is. And in turn, the game in a matter of seconds with the quality.
Wheeler was searching for it. Got a player down for El Paso. Officials asking for a trainer.
They just tighten things up defensively. El Paso Locomotive not pressing as high. This ball comes across, it's Wheeler just getting the better part of Boehner there. They're just making life extremely difficult to break down. So on the first half, they stepped a high line, trying to pick out the back line of Colorado Springs. That really left them vulnerable in behind the space of Haji Berry, like he gets his second goal like that. But it's a tweak in tactical formation and approach from John Hutchinson after the break to step back a bit and make the game a lot more compact, not leave the gaps that we saw in that first half between lines, really clogging the middle of the field and making this switchback side play around them, not through them. And if you're Brendan Burke, you have the quality in that front line to answer any question that is asked of you. Just players seem to be lacking maybe the rhythm that we had in that first half, the confidence as well, or ideas. You can never count this switchback side out. There's too much talent on display on the field to produce a bit of magic at any given time.
Widener Field was rocking tonight, especially for the first 10 minutes. And now the fans are looking for any kind of recovery. Lindley with a nice move. Berry. He's trying to create some space to get the ball back. And here is Berry. Nice give, a nice go. Berry the right foot, no.
That's the spots that you want Haji Berry, Mijigalina, Makingila to get on. It's just those soft spots between lines, the combination play, quick touches, drawing players out of position. It's when Colorado Springs is at their best.
Ryan, who went down. Solignac with the booking in the 80th minute.
It's a bit too quick here. Ryan. Solignac lunges in. Hard foul. I think he's been extremely good in the second half, Solignac. Not only scoring goals helps, just having that presence, a player to play off of and relieve some of the pressure that they've been under. All you can ask for as a number 9, just to stay high, occupy the center backs, and leave space for the players underneath you to operate.
Let's see what Lindley does here. Cam looking for Wheeler again. Just a little bit too much power on that, as we're now in the 81st minute. Got an update as Orange County and Phoenix are tied at 1-1. Oloski scored in that match. He's got 17 goals now to lead the entire USL Championship. 17 and counting. And at this point, Erdman looking for a foul to be called. Looks like we'll have a couple more substitutions for El Paso in a moment. And there is Eder Borelli. Zacharias departs. Zacharias fantastic this evening, especially in the second half. He had 2 assists, including on the go-ahead goal from Soynak.
And it's a defensive-minded substitution here from John Hutchinson. Borelli's going to just drop into this defensive unit, really trying to lock down that back line and secure this 3 points.
Foster. And this should be a corner kick. Corner kick brought to you by Pikes Peak National Bank. Bank well, be well, cheer loud. The second one of the night for Colorado Springs. Soft header, almost tied up, batted around by Newton. Lindley, this time far bar, that one just missed. Mahoney elevated.
Brilliant service here to this far post from Cam Lindley, and it's just his head back from Wheeler, having the understanding, I'm too far not to go on goal, but if I just put it in a dangerous situation, cause a bit of chaos, something good can happen. Second phase of the ball, Mahoney finds a soft spot between players, and he's going to be frustrated not to put this one on target and test Newton. And hopefully this gives a little bit of life for the switchback side. Jolt some energy into the stadium, really feed off of the 12th man at Widener Field.
Dylan Maris is down.
Just coming through the back, Makagila, easy call, referee right in front of him. Was when you have that extended arm into the back of a player.
Well, I got a moment in time. Got to say a big thanks to our entire crew this evening. Producer Mackenzie Pierce leading the charge, Claudio Teletcher, the director, Manny Simone on replay, and then Carly Gentry on audio. Thanks to our entire crew here at Widener Field. Perfect night for USL Championship. I know Ricky could probably use one of those White Claws. Maybe a couple.
You got a favorite flavor?
As long as it tastes decent. No, you grew up in the days of Red Bull vodka?
There you go.
Whatever it takes. Of course, a Corona, Modelo. Modelo, our player to watch tonight. Haji Berry living up to it. Well, you get so close to where the regular season finishes out and then you roll into the postseason and these elements change. But these players also have the aspirations of doing a lot of damage now in postseason, then making that next step to the MLS. You've done that. What's that like for these types of players that know that they're just a phone call away from making that elevation?
It's just every time you walk across those white lines, you're always going to be watched upon. You're always going to be challenged. You're always going to be judged for no matter what, good or bad. This is something you signed up for as a professional footballer, right? You live and die by the pressure. And you have to embrace that. And it's not only MLS, it's through ESPN Plus. You have ability to be seen around the world. You've seen big numbers in terms of transfers as of late in this USL Championship. Kobe Henry going over to Spain. What does that look like? Numerous of the years before. And it's just a growth for this USL Championship League, just to see, okay, we are catching eyeballs of clubs, of agents, of GMs, not only in the States, Diego Luna going to RSL, just around the world. So being a professional athlete, being a soccer player, you always have aspirations to go higher, to go to that next level. And organically, that next level is the MLS. And these players on the field have the ability to do it. It's just having that consistency, that platform to prove yourself day in and day out, to show how professional you are, the quality that you can sustain. But it's not good enough to get to that level. It's even harder to stay at that level.
It's the expectation to deliver. Some of these teams have the opportunity through their academies to develop the young talent, see them grow and mature before their very eyes. And then it is tough to see some of them depart for greener pastures. Calvillo, no chance on that. 87th minute, now into the 88th.
And talking about stringing performances together, if you're a Paso Locomotive, this is a game that if you make a run in the playoffs, you look back at this game down 3-0 against arguably one of the favorites in this USL Championship, to come back 4-3, score 4 unanswered. It's a game that you come together, talk about the culture, you talk about kickstarting your season, getting on a run as playoffs are approaching. Massive performance here in the second half, but it's not done yet.
It's been a game of runs. Colorado Springs, 3 goals in the first 9 minutes. El Paso, to start the second half, scored 4 goals in a 14-minute span. Dylan Mares opened up the scoring to make it 3-1 Colorado Springs. And then he scored in the 65th minute. Solinak right now has what would be the game-winning goal in the 67th. He's got 9 on the year. It has been a wild game. Been a punch and a counter punch. See if the Switchbacks have anything left in the reserves. 89th minute. We're rather curious to see what kind of time will be added to this contest in terms of stoppage. Clock continues to run, and you figure Aaron Gomez taking as much time off of it as possible, but it will be returned. Foster a bit puzzled on that look.
Yeah, and there's no need to go into this challenge. If you're Isaiah Foster, you have Gomez just going across towards that byline, not really possessing any threat. If you always come through a player, much like Makangila minutes ago on Mares, you're always going to see a foul called against you. And at the moment in time is not your friend. You need the most of it as you can get.
Limney trying to hurry up. have it now. It's official. 5 minutes of stoppage time brought to you by TikTok Shop. Colorado Springs looking for some late life again. Their last affair against Orange County, Barry scored in stoppage time to get the game level at 3-3.
That's what I like.
There is another chance here. Almost icing this thing was Gomez.
And it's not a coincidence, as we've said his name a lot more in the second half. You can just see how successful El Paso Locomotive has been in their attacking phase of the game. They do have a lot of game changers. They have a lot of talent. But it's when that talent shows up, it's the biggest question mark for John Hutchinson. And they're able to produce like they've expected. We've seen 4 goals in a half. They have the ability. A hard challenge there. There's no need again. If you're like you, Lucius, to come over the top of Wheeler, it just gives the Switchbacks a side of life.
Wheeler down. So look back at this difficult challenge.
And you just hold your ground, make him make a play. It's a completely different story. You have players like Haji Berry, Enriquez, just licking their lips over this. It is a bit far to really test Newton. But make no mistake about it, those players have more than enough quality. Looking for around the wall, up and over the wall. Maybe a little trick play that they've drawn up on the training ground. It looks like Haji Berry really fancied himself.
See if this wall gets backed up a little bit. Tell you what, Brandon Stevens, the lead official, is going to push these guys back a few feet. You figure the moment of this coming now. Brendan Burke will have to watch this thing from inside the aisle as he was ejected. Just got word on that. Wheeler, the header! He ties this thing up, and we're all level at 4. Aaron Wheeler off the bench on the board and had it all unfold, Ricky.
And it's just a sign of life. Something that was lacking in the second half. Good second phase ball here from Enriquez. And Wheeler, just a physical presence. Target man through and through, just to rise up and catch Newton. Really off his line, not well positioned. The snap header over his left shoulder to salvage a point for the Switchbacks. And like I said about Mayers on the other side, that's a job of a substitute, to come in and make an impact, to give something that was lacking in this game, and take a bow. Wheeler, brilliant time to goal. You have to give credit to Enriquez as his ball hits the wall to give up on this play. Most players will. Just to chase this down, and you can just see off his line, caught in no man's land, is Evan Newton. But give credit to that man right there. Sees what it means to Brendan Burke, having everything just slip through his fingers in the second half and fall apart. That's why you go and bring you bring on Wheeler to make an impact. And boy, oh, has he done that. 4-4, 95th minute.
Wheeler getting a yellow card. Wheeler knows how to celebrate, though. His goal in stoppage time. This is now back-to-back affairs that Colorado Springs has drawn level in extra time. Baji did it against Orange County just a few days ago. And now Wheeler tonight, all that is needed, and that, as they would say, is that. Well, a wild, wild affair for Widener Field. And you can see on the pitch right now, John Hutchinson is hot. He is hot. And El Paso, who was down this contest 3-0, came back to not only tie it, but take the lead. And then Aaron Wheeler, in stoppage time, tied this thing up at 4-4. And you see Yuma chirping right now with the officials. This match is over. And Yuma trying to talk to the lead official, Brandon Stevens, but Stevens is not going to hear any of it.
I think the argument here is, as this ball comes across, you can just see it. It's a head injury. Just catches Enriquez there. Excuse me. Aguilu's there, and referee should stop the game at any given time during a head injury, but he does not. And it elects this game to unfold. That's why you have Wheeler finding that equalizer there at the dying moments. So there is an argument to be had for El Paso Locomotive to feel hard done by, but it is a hard ask of the referees to stop that game at that moment in time.
Well, oddly enough, this thing is over, and Aaron Wheeler, the man of the match, the Better Business Bureau man of the match, he scores his first goal of the season, and what a time to do it.
And talk about a timely goal to get in the second half. He was extremely good since coming on the last couple minutes, but just doing his job, being that presence, occupying the center backs, being that focal point, that target player, to get yourself into dangerous situations and dangerous positions. That's what you want as a striker. That's why you're getting paid. You are to be a dangerous man, to put the ball on the back of the net. You can see El Paso players are caught out, arguing about the stoppage of play that never came. Talk about just rising up like a salmon out of water. And Wheeler just heading that ball into the back of the net and just going straight to Brendan Burke. See what it means to Colorado Springs Switchbacks to salvage this point at the very last touch of the game.
That critical moment of the match brought to you by Centura Health. Aaron Wheeler ties it up. First goal of the season, and what a time to do it. Full time, and the fans thought they had a W, and they somehow salvage a point. Colorado Springs back from the dead. Full time, and they earned himself a point. 4-4 was the final. We'll be back.
We are Southern Colorado. Our stories represent our families, our friends.
Kids, do you want to help our zoo?
It's the best zoo in the world. There's no better zoo.
Obviously, they know what they're talking about.
Our stories matter.
Right in the ER is where I had a stroke.
She was the one that was saying, "Don't cry, Mom, I'm going to be okay."
Bringing you the most local news. We are Fox 21, and together we are Southern Colorado.
Looking to grow your business? Fox 21 and SoCo CW are here to help. We can reach your consumers thanks to our award-winning news team, local sports coverage, and our connection and commitment to the community. Our exclusive partnership with Marshall Marketing will give you detailed demographics and buying habits in Southern Colorado, allowing us to target your advertising campaign with precision to maximize your advertising results. To learn more, email advertisewithus@kxrm.com.
Put a bow on this thing from Widener Field. Aaron Wheeler, you see him there, he's all smiles, and his clothes are back on. Wheeler, one of the heroes on the night, getting this thing leveled up at 4-4. Take a look at this highlight package. All of the fun from start to finish, Ricky.
And this first 10 minutes was just all Colorado Springs switchback. You thought it was going to be all rainbows for the boys in dark. Michi Galina just picking the pocket of Yuma. Far too casual. And then Haji Berry doesn't need to hit it clean when there's no one in goal. Just needs to hit it on target. And he does just that. And again, just how lackadaisical, how casual El Paso came out was really a big head scratcher for John Hutchinson. Maybe a player like Cam Lindley can pick out a pass from a mile. Haji Berry, reigning MVP for a reason, to get his brace within 10 minutes. And then again, it's Cam Lindley just picking apart this El Paso Locomotive side to find Elvis Amell, and it's a clinical finish from the big man.
Yeah, Amo's goal, that was his 12th of the season. He left in the second half. And then speaking of the second half, Dylan Mares comes off the bench and he lights things up from outside.
And it was always going to be a big challenge. What was the reaction going to be like going down 3-0 against this team? Most teams would just hang their head and say, okay, look, we lost this, let's go back to the drawing board, let's see what happens. But not John Hutchinson and El Paso Locomotive. Solignac gets this ball from brilliant work from Gomez, and then this is just brilliant again from Zacharias. It's just that overcommitment from Mahoney that gets him all in trouble. And then it's Maris, really unselfishness from Zacharias. Just put this into the path of Maris to get his brace on the night.
Yeah, Zacharias, who left this match, came in for a sub. 2 helpers on the night, and Solignac scored there. Thought it would be the game-winning goal, but Aaron Wheeler says no.
And Solignac was extremely good, just staying in position. And then this is a big question mark for the referee, for La Paso players. But Colorado Springs switchbacks, they won't ask any questions. They'll take this goal from Wheeler. It's a head injury. Yes, there's no call. He played to the whistle. And Colorado Springs salvages a point at the very last touch of this match.
Yeah, Wheeler, the man of the match. Read verified customer reviews and check business ratings at bbb.org. Match stats, full time. 4-4 was the final. Shots on target, possession, everything after full time, pretty much even. Not what I thought, probably not what you thought at the end of the first half.
No,
but here we are.
I went 3-0 for the switchbacks under Brendan Burke. You think they just kill this game, walk home, 3 points into the bag, keep walking up the Western Conference. And just he sees everything just slip through his fingers. John Hutchinson is grabbing, getting the grasp of this game. But then again, going through the fingers of John Hutchinson, Brendan Burke gets a grasp of it. The very last touch, this game just had so many ups and downs, so many flow of tempo, fluidity, emotion. What a terrific game this was from start to finish. Very grateful to be on the call, and both teams split the point, which I think was a fair result.
Well, Colorado Springs, they go to 13-8-3. El Paso 9-10-7. But more importantly for them, they're still undefeated against Colorado Springs. 7-0-10 all time against the Switchbacks. My broadcast partner, Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm David Gascon saying so long from Widener Field. Hope you enjoyed this one. We played to a 4-4 draw. Good night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.